Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So we have a lot to get to this week and the week that was. We'll touch on some American Express updates and changes. We have a rare sighting in the news from Fidelity and their cash management card, or their credit card rather, making some decent changes. Of course, we have some Strata Elite's rumor updates to talk about, and we will close with Delta's mea culpa of sorts as we continue talking about airport status and lounges for like the 8th straight week here on Sunday. So of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with American Express. Some folks have noticed this, some slight changes to American Express terms and conditions for their cashback lineup, which does kind of get skipped over quite a bit, but we will take a look at these because, again, if you're going after some of these offers, the order of operations can matter here. So again, these are the cashback personal cards. So if you put it on screen here, you have starting out the Blue Cash Preferred, the dark blue one that everyone likes. Now it looks like originally, they have this card, and there was also a Morgan Stanley version. Well, now they're actually saying that, hey, these are no longer going to be considered like separate products, kind of like the Platinum rules that we had changed a while back. Because they're saying, hey, look, if you've received this card, the BCP, or the Morgan Stanley Blue Cash Preferred card, you might not be eligible for the offer. If you go down to the BC, Blue Cash Everyday, that's the one that gets changed the most. That one sits in the middle. You may not be eligible to receive the Welcome Offer, Intro APRs, Intro Plan if you have had the Cash Magnet card, the one below it, the Blue Cash Preferred, the Morgan Stanley Blue Cash Preferred as well, and the Cash Magnet one that has basically left unchanged. You just couldn't have had that card before. So overall, minor changes, but again, it looks like they are going through the entire lineup now because, again, these terms kind of match up what they did on the Platinum, how they had the regular Platinum, the Schwab, and the Morgan Stanley, and originally you could get all of those. Well, now it looks like they're saying, hey, these are going to be considered the same product, and you can't get all of them. The VCE one gets it the worst, actually, but overall, just be aware of that if you're into these cards. Now, if that upset you, well, there's something else that Amex is removing, but it seems like a big deal, but I don't actually think it is. They are removing the ability to upgrade with points or purchase, like airline ticket seat upgrades using your points. Now, this is a notice that's been going out to folks, so we'll put it on screen for you. And again, you have the message. So effective December 3rd of 2023, American Express card members with membership rewards accounts will no longer have access to upgrade with points program. Now, overall, I've never done this. From what I understand from other people who are more in the know talking about this, it's not necessarily that big of a deal, and the value wasn't really there to begin with. Now, I've done like one booking through the Amex Travel portal. I think it was for a hotel, and I remember just getting terrible value. So this seems like it's something that's going away, but it's probably going to affect the masses. But in actuality, it might actually save the masses because, again, according to the folks who travel and leave their house, this actually wasn't that good use of value in your MR points to begin with. So, it'll be interesting to see, do they kind of push those people to learn more about transfer partners or just book the actual seat you want to begin with. I don't know. But overall, I don't think that's too big of a loss there. But that is American Express updates. Now, we do have an update about Costco and Discover for you. This was very quietly announced, but Costco, in store, of course, they only take Visa cards, but online you could use other payment networks, MasterCard and Discover. American Express, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really a warehouse shopper as a single dude, but Costco online will no longer take Discover cards. So they did update their payment page, and they are sending out notices. We are contacting you to inform you of the recent changes to payment options on Costco.com. Starting November 15th of this year, we'll no longer be accepting Discover cards as a payment. Now, overall, I don't believe it's really that big of a deal. It's really more so that, much like we all make fun of when Chase has their categories, wholesale clubs, this is the Freedom Flex is a MasterCard, you kind of lose a wholesale club option, and Costco is a massive fan favorite out there. So this does hurt a little bit. I think they'll remove wholesale clubs as a category? No, I just think they'll make a quiet line about it being discovered and simply saying, remember to check with the wholesale club if they accept this payment network, instead of just explicitly saying this doesn't work at Costco. For some reason, people and companies really don't like to write things in definite terms, even though it's accurate and true. So I think that's the only thing that will really happen. So if you are a Costco goer, be aware of that. Now, continuing on, we have Fidelity, which is someone we don't really talk too much about, but Fidelity has the Cash Rewards Visa card, which is really a popular card because, again, it's just 2%, but it is 2%. It goes directly to your Fidelity account. Well, that card's getting a little bit better because now Fidelity is removing the foreign transaction fees from their card. So this is the message they've been sending out. Your card is better than ever. Cool, I guess. You will no longer be charged foreign transaction fees when making international purchase with the Fidelity Rewards Visa card. Your card, of course, they're going to automatically do this for you. So, not too bad there, but, I think it's fine. It's another 2% card, no annual fee card with no foreign transaction fees, which is always a nice option, again, especially knowing that it is a fan favorite of sorts. So there is that, again, for you Fidelity loyalists out there. Now, another group that we know, another bank that we don't really talk about too much, has a new card out as well, and that is USAA. So they have, I believe it's called the Eagle Navigator card. Now, this card isn't widely available yet. Some folks have gotten notifications, promotional material to apply for when they log into their USAA portal. But we'll talk about it anyways in case you are interested. New cards are always fun. So we'll put it on screen for you with the promotional material they're getting. But again, Eagle Navigator, you're looking at an annual fee of $95, 3x back on travel, 2x back on all other purchases. Benefits, $100 TSA pre or global entry for those 8 people who don't have it yet. 10,000 annual bonus points after booking a hotel or rental car via USA Reward Center, and no foreign transaction fees. Those are going to be your highlights. Overall, I think it's fine. It's very reminiscent to me about reminiscent to me of the Sapphire Preferred, honestly, because they do have some level of travel benefits. I didn't go down in to see if it was like primary CDW or things like that, but when you look at the Sapphire Preferred with its hotel credit, that's $50, and it is very easy to use. I did a whole redemption video on it. Versus this, where at least it just, again, not digging through too much into the terms, but it says, hey, if you just, make a booking through the portal, we'll give you 10,000 points at 1 cent per point. There's your annual fee. So, not too bad there, considering if, for who that target market is for. I don't think it's amazing by any means. I wouldn't rush out and get it or be mad you're not with the USAA. But, again, anytime we have a new credit card, it is interesting to take a look at. Now, 2 more things to talk about today. We have from Frequent Miler a definite rumor. They flagged it themselves as heavy rumor that the Citi Strata cards are postponed until maybe Q2 of next year. Now, they go on the site that, hey, this is definitely a rumor. People are what their people are telling them. Obviously, we have the report from the good doctor, and here, the doctor we trust, as we like to say, that, they were getting ready to launch. Frequent Miler did cite, like a whole city reorg that happened a while back, and that would push them out. I didn't, write about it on the blog because, again, it's a heavy rumor using their sources. So, what I've really done, but just copy the exact thing that they said. So, I kind of feel like, yeah, that's a good possibility because if you look at it, we just kind of think our way through this is about when you would want to launch a new card, especially a travel-focused card. And there's really no I think people spend more than enough going into the holiday season. And just on the news, the local news this morning when I was on the treadmill, they're running. They're like, yep, holiday shopping, getting in gear. I'm like, really? It's, just by the time you're watching this, it's October 1st. Like, we're blowing through more and more holidays to get to Christmas already. Regardless of what holiday you celebrate, anyone only cares about Christmas because that's the one where people buy the most stuff. So all that to say, I can see them saying, hey, look, we're so close to the end of the year where people are going to spend money anyways. Let's not make getting this intro offer that easy for them. You generally want to, the early part of the year is kind of slower because people blew their budgets on Christmas. So again, you probably during, springtime is usually when you start to see spring through late summers when you start to see these new cards come out. So I can kind of see that, yeah, we might be too late in the year for a launch like this to make sense, especially if it did. My bet was they were going to do it when their new travel portal launched. So again, all just rumors and speculation. We don't know at this point, but I kind of lean that way. It lines up just on with the timeline that we just kind of talked about, so to speak. So, of course, we'll keep our eye on it as we always have. Now, last story follows up on the following past 2 weeks. So if you now everyone watches every video, so quick cliff notes, if you will. Delta and American Express have been going through and making some widespread changes to their programs. Now, the Amex changes were basically around the credit cards and dropping down from unlimited lounge access for the card holder for the Platinum and the Reserve to passes per year that would start in 2025. Delta kept going, and they revamped their Sky Miles program to just use MQDs, medallion qualifying dollars, and they jacked up the spend requirements to hit all of them like significantly. There were some other changes in there, but those were the big ones. And last week I said, it's probably not that big of a deal because I don't think it hurts. I think it really only hurts a certain segment of their group. So I think I was wrong because Delta is saying, hey, look, we may have gone too far. And they're backtracking a little bit. So Delta's CEO, the top boss, did an interview. We've got the whole thing linked at profitablecontent.com if you're interested in watching it. But I did pull out some quotes, and by that I mean I stole the quotes at 1 mile at a time, thought were most important to see. So let's take a look at this, see what their corrections are going to be. Of course, they're not going to commit to anything crazy, but again, these are pulling quotes, again, all from the CEO. We're still assessing what to do, but there will be modifications that we will make, and you'll hear about it sometime over the next few weeks. We need to make certain that we can serve our higher tiers with the level of premium experience that you deserve, and it's gotten to the point, honestly, where we have so much demand for our premium products and services that are far in excess of our ability to serve it effectively. Another one here, in terms of assets, whether it's Delta One, whether it's Sky Clubs, whether it's upgrade certificates, whatever it is, we have grown that population. And COVID almost doubled the amount of diamonds. And then no question, we probably went too far in doing that, meaning the changes. Our team wanted to kind of rip off the Band-Aid, and I didn't want to have to go through this every year. I think we moved too fast. We're looking at it now. So those are some quotes. Again, full interview if you want to see it over on the main blog. So, first of all, I would say this. I say we should not rip Delta for backtracking. I believe that we do this thing where you're never allowed to change your opinion or change your mind, or you get crushed for it. You see this a lot in sports. If someone drafted a top prospect, a top quarterback, and that person's not very good after a while, they'll just stick with them, because to trade them or to cut them means that I was wrong, and I don't want to be wrong because I might get fired or yelled at. So instead, we just keep riding with this guy who's not very good. You should be allowed to change your mind and be like, okay, they heard people, complaining. We were pro people canceling cards and protesting with their dollars here last time. And so they backed it off, and I think we should applaud them for that. It should be a cautious applause, because they're not going to tell you what they're going to do. And there are still some quotes in there that are a little bit interesting. Things like, hey, look, we wanted to do this all at once, not do this a course of a few years, which to me kind of says, one way or another, we're going to end up where I want us to be as the Delta boss. But since there was so much pain, maybe I'll just gradually do it now instead of doing it all at once. I don't necessarily think he's going to retract everything. We won't see subtle changes to get where they need to be. Again, as we've all known, and they've said it, they're kind of at odds with the folks who are like their true premium customers, who people are just paying for Delta One automatically. They want that level of status. Delta's, bills themselves is a more premium airline over the other ones, and then they're at war with, all the regular people who get in with cards and things like that. So nothing that we didn't really know before, so we don't know what changes are going to happen. They will probably ramp some of it back down. I think this is probably more related to their Sky Miles programs. I'm going to guess the American Express lounge changes are probably done. I don't know that they're going to tweak that any, but the status piece I think will probably change from this to a degree. So, he said in the coming few weeks, we'll have to keep our eye on it, see what the next announcement is, what the next retooling is. So I know a lot of you guys were upset down below. So, let us know your thoughts, so to speak. What changes would you like to see? What would be... We know it's not going back to the way it was, so I guess what's like your middle ground of sorts? You can include lounges in there, status, spend, you name it, better conversions, whatever you want to see. But, maybe they're listening. I'm sure they read these comment sections all the time. But anyways, guys, that has been the news for this week. So, of course, you liked it. Drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, where we have the latest news stories just like this. We have bank promotional offers and we have credit card offers. So go check that out. Get some more profitable content for you. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching and talk to you very soon this week.